let's talk about 2020. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Boston and I'm a music photographer based in LA, and I do videos on music photography and general photography stuff. I wanted to sit down and talk about the year 2020. I'm taking a few weeks off of YouTube for the holiday vacation, so this is going to be my last YouTube video up for the year 2020. And I really just wanted to sit down and kind of reminisce about it. I've talked a lot to other friends in the music industry, and we're all obviously hurt and upset by the year 2020 and all that it's thrown at us. And I feel like I've been okay through it because I have still done some things I'm proud of. So I wanted to make a video that was just positive and me talking about the things that I've accomplished in 2020 that I'm really happy with, and just have some positivity about this year, because otherwise I'm gonna go insane. Literally, I need something that I can look back on and be like, look, this year wasn't a waste. So I made a list of my things that I did in 2020 that I am super proud of. So let's jump into it. Okay, first of all, I actually started out the year really well. I came back to LA from my vacation with my family, and I did a show right away. I think it was January 3rd or something like that. And I got to photograph and work with a blind artist named Joey. And this was such a fun opportunity. Joey was coming in from out of state to do a show at the Whiskey A Go-Go, and him and his band were just so excited about it and honored for that opportunity, and they wanted someone to capture that in the behind the scenes moments. So I got to spend a few hours at the Whiskey A Go-Go just following around Joey and his band, hanging out with them, and then capturing him on stage and the band on stage. And it was just so much fun to start the year off with an amazing client that was just so happy to be doing a show there, and just so fun and just a great client all around. I was so honored and I'm so excited. And I specifically remember thinking that day and being like, okay, if this year starts off like this, this is gonna be amazing. So great moment. I really, really loved that show. Secondly, I started getting into film. This year, for some reason, I kept getting gifted film cameras. So I had a whole bunch of 35mm film. I had film cameras, and I was like, let's go for it. I made a whole bunch of videos about film photography and trying different things. And I was just having a blast with it. It was something new that I was learning. It was something that was just wildly out there. I had no idea what I was doing. I still don't, but it was so much fun to test out those cameras and try something new. So getting into film for me was a huge milestone, just to say that I did it and I'm still learning that skill set. Thirdly, I got to shoot a show with the publication that I often work with called Mixdown. I got to photograph this celebration of Bob Marley's life, and it was so cool because Bishop Briggs was there, and a lot of Bob Marley's family was actually there. I was able to photograph Julian Marley as well. And I was so excited about the photos. There was no photo pit, so the photographers were literally sitting on the floor in front of the stage taking photos. So weird angles. I really had no ability to move around and get other angles and other shots. But I was so proud of the photos and just so happy to be there. But the icing on the cake was that during that show, I actually met two photographers in person that I have looked up to for a long time. One was Tammy Vega and the other was Chris Laurie. I interviewed both of them for my podcast, so please check that out because they are incredible photographers. They were both hired to be there, and I was just honored to be in the pit with them and just share that experience and talk to them, and they were so kind. So it was so nice to be at such a cool show, but at the same time meet people that I've been looking up to for a long time. It was just amazing. I'm so happy. I still look back at that show, and even though I don't like the photos too much, they're still nostalgic, I guess, in my mind, that like I loved that show. I loved meeting the people there. It was just such an honor and such a cool experience. Another thing that I did this year was to get into video. I actually did 2 behind the scenes videos this year. One was for a party, and then the other was for a behind the scenes for a music video. Neither of those I can show you. One was for a client that I don't think that they've yet released it, and the other one is for a music video that the actual official music video hasn't been released. So sadly I can't show you either of those 2 videos, but for me it was such an honor to have the ability to go test out video and like really work on that, because most of my video work is here on YouTube and I obviously don't do a lot of editing on my videos. So it was really cool to try something new and put together these behind the scenes videos and really capture what was going on at these events. So that was so much fun. I learned a lot from it and I'm so excited to do more video. Another weird thing that I did is I got into wedding photography. This was the year that I was like, look, I'm gonna do more weddings. I clearly didn't do more weddings because there weren't a lot of weddings in 2020, but I was able to go to a few events and add some wedding photos to my book. So I was really excited to take more wedding photos and like get that experience and put that into my portfolio because it's so different than what I shoot. I'm really hoping that next year I can do more weddings when things open up, but it was so nice to get my foot in the door and start with that experience. Some other small highlights, I still took some amazing band photos that I'm really proud of. There were a few local shows that I went to supporting some of my local artists here in LA, my friends, local musicians, and I got some bomb photos out of them, so I'm super proud of that. I was also able to photograph some of my friends and make them look like models, so I'm super proud of those photos as well. A few weeks before the pandemic hit and really closed everything down, I was able to meet and photograph a musician named Katrina Kane, who just moved to Los Angeles or recently moved to LA, and she is incredible. She was on The Voice, and I got to work with her, bring her into my home studio, and take some amazing photos of her. We had other plans. I was really hoping to work with her more in the future, but the photos that we did take, they wound up on her EP cover and they're on her Spotify. So I'm just honored that I was the one that she chose for her EP cover and for her Spotify portrait. Like, so amazing. She looks stunning in the photos. I'm just so happy that I got to meet her and that she trusted me in these photos, and I really hope to work with her again because it was just so much fun. I love meeting new clients and like working with new people, so that was just such a fun one to have her trust me and like come into my studio, and I was like, this and this and this is gonna look cool, and she just trusted me with it and we got some bomb photos out of it. I also tried product photography, so I helped take photos of a guitar that was like a custom build, and I had no idea what I was doing. But I tried out a few different styles of taking these photos of this guitar, and it was really interesting. I was like, I really want to do this more because I love the detail of music instruments. So I was like, this is really cool. So I got really excited about trying out product photography, and that's definitely something that I want to do more of, and hopefully work with some guitar companies because that would be really cool. I did a few live streams. I actually photographed a local band when they were doing a live stream at the Whiskey A Go Go, and it was so much fun. So much fun. It was very strange being the only person in the crowd and like having free reign to like run all over the venue and take their photo, but so much fun. I was so honored to be part of a team that was doing everything COVID safe within regulations and like still being able to give the band some live music, like venue shots. But I was really proud of being on a team that was COVID safe and helping a band, a local band, to get content during this pandemic. Like, they had a whole live video, obviously with the live stream, but they also walked away with some concert shots from me, which, if I do say so myself, I really like them. But it's just so cool to work with local bands and kind of work within the regulations to still show people music content during this weird time. So I was just so honored to be part of that and being able to experience that and work with bands getting them content throughout this pandemic. And last but not least, I am so proud of the things I've done this year with my podcast and my YouTube channel. If you guys didn't know, I started a series actually in 2018 where I was interviewing female music photographers. I was doing videos for it, and when it came to the pandemic, I wanted to switch over to Zoom videos, and after doing Zoom videos for a while, I figured it was better as a podcast. So I fully switched everything over to a podcast, and I've been working weekly on that. So every week there are new episodes of the podcast out that are these interviews with people telling their stories and how they got started in the music industry, their tips, their successes, and just having this platform for people to brag about themselves and also talk about issues that I don't hear other people talk about in the music industry, like sexism, roadblocks, failures. Like, there's just so much good advice that I don't think people talk about that much, and I love talking about that on the podcast. So I'm so honored that people have supported the podcast and have been wanting to be on the podcast and spend their time with me. So that was just like something that like really touched my heart, and I was so excited to work on. And then the other part of this is you guys and being here on YouTube. This has been the year that I kind of really tried to put out more content on my YouTube and be here almost weekly if possible. And it's been a struggle. It's really hard to put out content. It takes up a lot of my time, a lot of effort, but I am really excited to be here, and I hope that I just get better and better at editing, filming, great topics to inform you guys about, like, whatever you guys want from me when it comes to music photography. I hope that I can help with it. I'm so happy that I have been able to grow my podcast and also grow my YouTube channel. So I'm just so honored that this is the year that I actually had some extra time to sit down and do this, and I've really enjoyed it. So I hope that it like continues to grow. Next year I keep putting more time and effort into it and get better at it. So I'm super excited about all of that. But that's that. That is my 2020 that I am super proud of. There's a few things I did outside of those bullets, but those are the ones that I'm just like super stoked about doing this year and just happy and want to remember and like make sure that I'm like, look, I did actually do something this year, because this year has been tough, especially with not being able to go out and do concerts and put out content that I really want to put out due to the COVID regulations. So I'm just so happy that I was able to do all of this stuff that I listed. So now I really want to hear from you guys. Please, in the comments of this video, tell me your top list of things that you did in 2020 that you're really proud of. I know that this year has been tough for a lot of us, and I just really want to keep it positive and talk and brag a little bit about the things that we did. So please, in the comments, tell me your top 2020 things that you've accomplished. And thank you guys so much for listening through this. I do put out new videos every Thursday, so please come back for the next one. That being said, this is my last video of 2020. I will see you guys in the next one next year. Thanks. Bye.